So I'd like to share with you some of our approaches to treating media as data, which include an online U.S. television news research service. And then further, I'll be outlining some opportunities to collaborate with the Internet Archive. But first, I thought I'd just review who we are. We're a nonprofit 501c3 digital library founded in 1996, supported by libraries and foundation grants, led by Brewster Kahle, and guided by a board of directors. Our mission is to extend into the digital age the preservation of society's cultural artifacts and provide access to them, supporting education and scholarship. Writ large, our mission is to provide universal access to all knowledge. Headquartered in San Francisco, we've created new models for digital conservation by thoughtfully forging alliances with diverse public and private stakeholders. We've compellingly championed the public benefit of online access to diverse media, the import of adopting open standards for its preservation, discovery, and presentation. In our collection, we have over 51,000 software titles. The last talk was particularly instructive because there are a number of opportunities for in-browser emulations of prior operating systems. So at the Internet Archive, you can run in-browser VisiCalc, as well as a variety of old games. We have a physical archive of more than 600,000 books. We've scanned 2 million of them. We have 1.5 digital movies uploaded by archive users. They range from full-length films to daily alternative news broadcasts to cartoons and concerts. 1.8 million audio recordings, including nearly every live performance of the Grateful Dead. We have 2 million digital books. We have an archive of television and a 7.7 petabyte database of more than 400 billion web pages. Our site has some 3 million visitors each day. Well, you can see these information right here. Our yearly budget is 13 million, supporting the operation of 130 employees spread around the world. About 100 of those are in national libraries and universities around the world scanning books. We also, as I said, we've been preserving television since late year 2000. We do so because television is our most pervasive and persuasive medium. You know that yet our television culture has never been given a pause and rewind button to enable us to thoughtfully reflect on the meaning of its messaging. Although seriously challenged by the internet, broadcast television remains the principal medium Americans get to use to get their news. Launched in the context of the 2012 elections and supported by the Knight Foundation and others, the Internet Archive's Public Interest Television News Research Service is intended to enhance the work of journalists, scholars, teachers, librarians, civic organizations, and all sorts of diverse, engaged citizens. It repurposes closed captioning as granular time-coded metadata to enable users to search, compare, contrast, and quote and borrow U.S. television news programs. Available at no charge, the public can use the index of searchable text and short stream clips to explore, compare, and contrast television news, to discover important resources, understand context, evaluate assertions of facts, and engage with others and share insights. The collection contains more than 600,000 U.S. television news programs collected over the last 5 years from national U.S. networks and stations in San Francisco, Washington, D.C., and newly, the Philadelphia television market area. The archive is updated with new broadcasts 24 hours after they're first aired. We identify semantic entities using Stanford's named entity recognition recognizer for faceted search and to provide researchers a unique corpus to experiment with opportunities to create real-world semantically driven content recognition and discovery opportunities. Older broadcasts are also being added. The service does not facilitate downloading, but offers individuals opportunities to share links to short clips, view whole programs at the Internet Archive's library in San Francisco, or borrow DVD-ROMs from the Internet Archive. Our new interface offers a number of enhancements, including the option to trim up to 60-second quotes and embed or post it. The archive is also experimenting with select journalists and scholars by giving them enhanced access to the research service beyond its current public limitations. Our granular treatment of television news begs the opportunity for the establishment of new television news micro-format schema to facilitate search engine delivery. I'm going a little bit too fast. I just wanted to pause at this point and say, one of the things that we're doing here is in repurposing closed captioning is getting people right to their points of interest. It's a highly granular way of treating TV. And metadata for video lacks the opportunity for worldwide discovery of small granular elements. We're surfacing closed captioning to do that as a model for what could be a more structured data approach. One of the challenges is that we've been unable to reference a current user experience model for searching the video. Conventional video search requires users to start at the beginning of the video and proceed at the pace and sequencing dictated by the content creators. Our service has tried to vault over the confines of the linear video storytelling framework to help users jump into content at points directly pertaining to their search. Essentially, treating video as infinitely addressable data has enabled us to do an increasingly better job to get people right to their points of interest. So what we're trying to do is leap beyond this 5,000-year-old model of unfurling an ancient Egyptian scroll and go to the post-Gutenberg era, where there's page numbers and there's an index. And this is a non-trivial task just to address people's conceptual model in using our public interface. I just want to skip this. And let me just jump beyond a couple things. We've also begun to work with selected investigators in facilitating all kinds of diverse research at an unprecedented scale by hosting their algorithms within our servers, retaining the original content and exporting only the results. Now, this is the case for television news, where this is not in the public domain. We've created this research service to facilitate all kinds of public research, but to treat the variety of kinds of media and metadata associated with our television news service, we want to give researchers access to our backend, to virtual machines within our physical server environment, which is that church you saw at the beginning. We are in a former Christian Science church. A variety of researchers at the Berkman Center at Harvard and Media Lab at MIT utilized our backend access to our television news service to study for the first time the entire media ecosystem around a controversial story, in this case the Trayvon Martin story. And they were able to add for the first time television to their understanding of the ebbs and flows and twists and turns of the story. We've also offered the opportunity to a variety of other scholars, including Rebecca Weiss, a graduate student at Stanford, who's utilizing the closed captioning and other signals for a variety of topic modeling of the news stories. And here's just a taste of some preliminary results I thought you might be interested in. She's looked at foreign affairs across by networks, U.S. foreign affairs by television show, international news by network, international news by show, commercials by network, commercials by show. Here's some you can look later at that, but here's some interesting cross correlations between a variety of those factors, and found a strong negative correlations for the coverage of international news and U.S. foreign affairs news with commercials. So more commercials, less coverage of those two topics. We've also collaborated with a scholar who will be presenting here later, Kalev Leteru, a Yahoo fellow at Georgetown University. He took all our captioning, looked at for place name mentions, disambiguated Paris, Texas from Paris, France, and created an animated map depicting each place mentioned as they occurred each day over 4.5 years. And you can go to this URL and launch the, excuse me, launch the map. And when you do, I suggest focusing right in here on Libya and watch the Libyan civil war break out and subside. And then you'll also note Syria as well. And you can watch the entire Middle Eastern awakening or tumult by viewing how television news covers it. There's also faceted search available where you can take a look at how each network has covered news around the world by looking just in this case at place name mentions. Just last week, Kalev and the Internet Archive opened a Flickr collection of 2.6 million public domain images with rich metadata extracted from 2 million books scanned by the Internet Archive, and there's 12 million more pictures coming soon to the Commons. I mentioned that we're recently opened up a television collection of news within the Philadelphia television market area. We're also crawling this entire media landscape and creating an open digital archive of all web presences of news, candidates, their supporters, and community organizations. We're looking in this market area, in this TV market area this year, because there's 3 highly competitive congressional elections, one in southern New Jersey, 2 in Pennsylvania, a race for the Pennsylvania governorship, which is a hotly contested one. And now, thanks to the Supreme Court recently relaxing yet again the restrictions on donations to political campaigns in the McCutcheon decision in this wintertime, it is thought that there's going to be a lot of dark money flowing into this region. And we thought, wouldn't it be a good idea to provide an open library, a database, if you will, for a variety of scholars and journalists and others to be able to look deeply into how money is spent, what it's spent on, and how topics in the news and in the communities are reflected in the media or diminished in the media. To that end, we're collaborating with, the Sunlight Foundation, the Linguistic Data Consortium, the University of Delaware, a great group in the Philadelphia area called the Committee of 70. We're taking volunteers who are identifying political ads, marking them, adding essential metadata to them to permit faceted search against those ads within our public interface. We'll soft launch this on Monday, and you'll see more of it. From these ads, we're joining them with information that's hosted by the FCC, uploaded by every individual station on exactly who paid how much for which ads. This is a pilot experiment. We're trying to do a lot, some with a lot of human heavy lifting to identify the ads, to create structured metadata off of difficult PDFs that are uploaded to the FCC. And we're looking to see how we could scale this across the nation in coming years. In this case, this is another opportunity for collaboration with folks here and in other places to access our media, to access the data that we're presenting now and in the future. So at its heart, we're an invitation to collaborate. We're a library. We're a public digital library, and our doors are wide open to you. Our public domain and open collections are wide open for you to access, download at your will, interact with them at your will. And those that are semi-open, that is in the case of television news and other kinds of collections, we welcome a conversation where we can look at how we can collaborate, how we can bring in your algorithms to within our virtual library reading room environments to perform calculations, export not the original data, but those results, and hopefully everybody will gain off of that. Thank you for giving me your attention. I've sped through this kind of quickly and am available now to answer any questions and certainly to follow up later. Thank you.